Some of my work, like I said, has been broadacre, and this is some pretty this is about a 1,500 acre property in 1997, and you know, before then, I think it was 96, up to that point we were doing about 20 designs a year and doing most of them by hand, or doing them all by hand. Anyone who knows hand drafting knows it's a pain in the proverbial, and very time consuming. I did a whole farm planning certificate course at Melbourne University in 1995, and I first saw this computer-based mapping stuff for the first time. And you know, this bloke could just click and it would tell you how big an area it was, and you know, how long a line was, and you know, you could draw fences and all this sort of stuff. I thought, geez, this is the sort of thing I want to have. So I got myself a copy and never looked back. And you know, from then on, I was able to do, you know, upwards of 100 designs a year, because you could do things so much quicker and more accurately and all of that sort of thing. So we're encouraging, as part of our work in permaculture, in keyline, etc., for people to adopt this sort of stuff. A lot of what I'm doing is actually just trying to show people what our successful business model, which has, you know, got us to the point where we're working internationally and developing farms, developing actual farms, which is pretty cool. And our business model works pretty well at doing that. So I'm probably almost selling a bit of a franchise, or showing a franchise, but I'm not selling it. I probably should. As anyone who knows me well, I give most of my stuff away. Anyway, we got to the point in '98 when we were getting really busy, and I really stepped up a level, and we needed to hire a surveyor. So I had a surveyor that I had full time. I picked him up in a mine, as you pick most people up, and well, it was good because he was a miner and he didn't like working in the mine. Nobody bloody likes working in a mine. And he had all of this ability to design dams, as you'll call ponds, I call dams. And also, as you'll see here, you see all those dots? They're actually a mine blast pattern, because the software that we use to design this is all, those dots are where you put the gelignite charges. So, well, in my case, they're trees. Although it sort of excites me to use gelignite as a ground preparation method, but I haven't got to that point yet. Yeah. So we get to doing some pretty snazzy stuff, and you know, we've been very fortunate that working on the edge with a lot of people who are innovative farmers have allowed us to push some boundaries that have never been pushed, and do things that have never been done before, and paint landscapes like they've never been painted before, and do it in such a way, because I do all of this stuff based on a bottom line, and that's where the holistic management stuff comes in. You know, you set a goal, you go through the process, and you determine, you know, is this actually a viable thing to do? So we spend as much time designing as we do doing spreadsheets, working out, you know, is this actually a viable thing to do? And you know, this is an expression of some of that work, where we're designing systems that are actually very economically viable. And that's been something that's been levelled at permaculture over time, that permaculture is not an economically viable activity. Well, that annoys me a bit. And I don't like people telling me that what I do is not worth a quid. And so we go out of our way to make sure that that's not the case. But to be reasonable, a lot of the systems that we've developed and tested have had to go through some sort of incremental design in itself. We've developed a whole range of different standard designs that we know work. We've got a few farms that we test, farmers that allow us to do research and who do their own research, because when you're an innovative farmer, you just need a bit of a help along, and we do that, and then they start to really breed on that. And then you go out there one day and they've done something absolutely radical that works really, really well, but they've made a lot of mistakes as well. So we work with it. When we're working with the rank and file client, we do it in such a way that's usually using best bet standards, as I would say. Nothing too... So we limit the amount of risk.